Good morning, educators and audiences. I, Alvin Noren, as the first speaker of the government team, would likely to propose this motion. This motion stated that as a feminist movement, this house would encourage women to be selfless. Now, by definition, women should think and prioritize what they think are important for them, instead of sacrificing that important things to appease others or to adhere to the misogynistic traditional values in their lives. What is the status quo? In this world, especially in a more conservative country like Indonesia, for example, women are forced to be submissive at their homes. They are forced to be submissive both superficially and subliminally. Right? There is a hidden system that heavily encourages women to be submissive in their daily life and let men take control of their life. The problem is that by forcing these women to be submissive, their rights to express their opinion and to decide what they want to do with their lives are severely limited. Thanks. As the proposition or government team of this debate, I proudly stand with this motion. We are okay with the feminist movement encouraging women to be selfless. Our goal is to propose the explanation on why it does. By feminist movement encouraging women to be selfish, it would actually bring more good to harm and would also materialize the equality between men and women. Alright, so for the mechanism, how do the feminist movement encourage women to be selfish? Well, first, they can promote women in media, like important figures like Najwa Shihab, for example, and also the feminist movement can create actions in the daily life, like for example like a workshop class or other actions, right? With this, an equality of power or control between men and women would be exist, because now women have more agency to choose what they want to do with their life. Alright. This motion or this principle is justified because by encouraging women to be selfish, it would make them deny the problematic status quo and be more critical, and they would be encouraged to critically think on their life decisions. Second, when the feminist movement encourages women to be selfish, it will also encourage them to also challenge the patriarchal system in our society. Alright, as the world keeps developing and modernizing, so does the society need to adapt and adhere to the ever-developing world. A feminist movement that encourages women to be selfish will make the society adapt with the landscape of our current lives. Justification and activity. Encouraging women to be selfish incentivizes them to think and act more critically. This encouragement would lead to women be braver and more courageous to do things to themselves. I mean like pursuing career or education, basically anything positive that they really wanted to do. With this, women will start to take care of themselves instead of other figures, such as family members who may adhere to the outdated patriarchal value. By women doing things by themselves, for themselves, and do themselves, they will improve their own agency and control of their own lives. And third, they would also have a say in how their life is actually going to look like, how their life is actually going to be like, instead of following what, for example, maybe like what their family figure would say, like their husband would say, etc. With the feminist movement encouraging women to be selfish, this would also lead them to actively defending themselves from an outdated culture in society. This would help with our goal earlier, which is gender equality. As we know, the status quo is actively promoting women to be below men and shut their rights in their life. For example, polygamy, where the husband pursues another woman to become their second or even third wife, but for like fulfilling their sexual desire heavily put the women in put the first wife in a degrading position. If the first wife really loves the husband, but they are also, they know that they have their own value, she would oppose this idea instead of agreeing and get her heart broken. As I have stated earlier, selfish in this context means that women can actively choose what they think are right and important, instead of burying their own desire and dreams to make other figure happy or to follow the misogynistic tradition. In a family, a woman is usually the caretaker of the family. Acting selfishly means that the women will actively oppose their husbands if their husbands did something terrible, for example, like being violent or abusive. This will protect the child from being harmed from the abusive husband actions, and because the woman is selfish, the way she gets there is that they will already have a means to stand their ground. For example, like having a stable job or means to taking care of themselves and their child. Fourth, like the definition has inferred from my speech, selfish action does not necessarily mean that it will only benefit the selfish person. I will give you an example. But if a person who comes from a struggling family decided to go into college to pursue a high-paying job or a great career, at the end, that person would bring benefit to the family, even if the family struggles initially to pay for the person's colleges, right? Making women more selfish means they are encouraged to take such actions and therefore have the chance to improve their life and their family life, just like how the men have the chance to improve their life and their daily lives. So there would be an equality of chances between men and women, in this case for pursuing education. And because of that, I, as the first speaker of the government team, proudly defend this motion. Thank you.